Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this?
It's Jeffrey Toobin.
From CNN. Hi, Jeffrey.
Right. Legal analyst on CNN. Since my reinstatement, that is.
Reinstatement? After what?
Being suspended for masturbating on a Zoom call.
And Matt Lauer had to quit. Imagine if Matt Lauer did something like that. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear for everybody. That's what why you were gone.
Right, of course. Well, tonight I'm going to be talking about this Roe versus Wade situation on CNN, providing my expert legal analysis. But I thought I'd call your show and sort of workshop it first. That way your listeners can get a sneak peek into my expert legal analysis that will be seen later on CNN.
Well, it sounds great, Jeffrey. What's your take here?
Well, first of all, what sticks out to me, and I can't emphasize this enough, how absolutely unprecedented a leak like this is from the Supreme Court. Presumably from an actual staff member. Truly unheard of, almost unfathomable.
That's what you think the main issue here is? The takeaway?
Oh, yes, absolutely. No matter what you think of abortion rights or Roe versus Wade or any issue, really, the court's ability to derive the arguments and write these briefs in confidence should be considered sacrosanct. A leak like this or of this magnitude is truly obscene.
More obscene than forcing women with compromised pregnancies to face almost certain death for an ideology?
Oh, absolutely. A Supreme Court justice should have the capability, a specially guarded capability, to draft their opinions, even controversial opinions like rolling women's rights back 50 years, in privacy, without public interference. Judicial privacy is absolutely paramount for a functioning judicial system.
What is Alito's primary objection to Roe versus Wade?
It basically comes down to a rejection of the right of privacy.
Do you hear yourself?
Jimmy, quite frankly, I am all I hear.
So you're mad that Justice Alito didn't have the privacy to write about how people shouldn't have privacy.
It's not that people shouldn't have privacy, let's be reasonable. It's that privacy, and to whatever extent we engage in privacy, is a personal choice. The salient point legally here being that at the end of the day, the right to privacy is not explicitly guaranteed in the United States Constitution.
I thought it was contained in the Bill of Rights.
Well, some say it's implied, an implied right. Famously stated, it is in the, quote, penumbra of rights put forth in the Bill of Rights. This was the basis of the decision for Griswold versus Connecticut, the Supreme Court case that Roe versus Wade was essentially based on.
So if Roe v. Wade gets struck down, this Griswold case could too, then?
Oh, absolutely.
That's a good impression. What was that case about again?
It essentially guaranteed the right to birth control.
Oh, so this could lead to birth control being made illegal?
No. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. If Griswold were overturned, hypothetically, by the Supreme Court, that would simply pave the way for states to regulate birth control or outlaw it altogether. And down the road, pave the way for a federal ban on birth control.
And you think this should happen?
Well, it's not a matter of should, per se, but if Roe gets struck down, it only makes legal sense that Griswold would get struck down, too.
Oh, okay.
And this all goes back to Robert Bork being nominated to the Supreme Court in 1987 by Ronald Reagan, if you recall.
Yeah.
Congress ultimately rejected his nomination largely on the basis of his stance on the right to privacy, which he did not feel was protected by the Constitution.
Yes, I actually remember this.
And I suppose you could say that Congress has not been so vigilant in rejecting Supreme Court nominees on this basis subsequently. So there are a lot of justices on the bench now with very new and exciting ideas about privacy. So some real interesting legal ideas to play with going on here.
Is this all this is to you? Legal games and wordplay? Not that people's lives and welfare are at stake, real-world consequences.
Look, Jimmy, as I stated earlier, I'm a lawyer and a legal analyst. I am an analyst of the law, not whether something is good for society or morally repugnant or whatever. That's a separate sphere. For that, you would have to look for an analyst with a background in human goodness or whatever. I wouldn't even know the terminology.
You are on some level human, though, aren't you? I mean, if you can't see how Roe v. Wade being overturned would affect the women in your life, can you at least maybe see how the judicial erosion of the right to privacy might affect your own?
Well, certainly it would affect everybody. Of course I can, but I can only hypothesize legal abstractions because that's my training.
That's fine. So that's fine. Go ahead.
Well, let's say, for example, that a man is on a Zoom call.
Okay. Oh, brother.
And and this is a particularly salient point here in this hypothetical scenario, this man is unaware that he is not muted and that he can still be seen. And in this moment, he decides to attend to some personal business because one of the women on the call is a redhead and the good kind, like Anne Margaret. Now, the sexual harassment charges that would eventually be leveled against this man would be legally based on this woman's right to privacy.
Mr. Toobin, for the love of God, hold on, I'm getting another call.
Jeffrey, this is Jake Camper from The Lead with Jake Camper, the show you were about to be on. Oh, hey, Jake, I was just about to talk about, I know. Do not fucking talk about this shit on my show. Do it on Dore Show, that's fine, but not on mine. Do you understand me? Well, why? I was just offering some abstract legal analysis. If you come on my show and somehow make Roe versus Wade about you jacking off, I am going to lose my shit. You have got to stop alluding to that. Well, I just feel it's a salient point. It's not. Okay, well, hear me out. What if I replace masturbating with, quote, picking my nose? I'm pretty sure people would know what I'm really talking about. No! This job is really confining sometimes.
Okay, guys, can we work this out offline, pals? I got to get to another segment.
Yes, please, let's work this out in private. Actually, it turns out privacy is not a real thing.
We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorecomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.